In this video, I'm going to try to stay more on point because over the last few days, I've been making these YouTube videos and it kind of just morphs from me starting off with a particular point in the video to kind of going off track onto a whole side chat tangent about how my day went. So in this video, I might integrate some of that into it, but I'm going to mainly be talking about what sin kind of feels like. Now, I might have a different paradigm to yours because for the last year and a half, maybe, I've been basically dedicating my life to just achieving the optimal future for my future self. So, what I mean by that is just doing things that are conducive to the success that your future self would want to see. So, if you want to have a really good physique for your future self, you might want uh, to go to the gym a lot, and that's what you do. Now, let's say you take part in an activity that is the opposite of that, so it's not conducive to that goal. So, for example, you eat about 12 muffins instead of going to the gym. Now, this isn't going to it might not offset your goal entirely, but it's not going to give you good psychological momentum because it's going to be like a slightly negative a pretty negative impact in your short term life because you're going to physically feel kind of ill because you've had about 12 muffins like Bojack did. But when the longer you've been doing this, the worse it feels. And I feel as though lately, whenever I have even a bit of chocolate, or I've had three sweets a day for the last 3 days because I was given about 9 sweets just involuntarily, but I don't want them to be wasted, so I ate them anyway. And I'm able to avoid sweets, but it's completely due to environment. I don't bother wasting energy on a load of willpower to avoid eating sweets because I can easily just not buy them, and therefore I don't eat them. I don't think I bought a single sweet in Galway when I was going over there. Crap, I shouldn't be giving away my location. But anyway, I haven't given away my current location, or maybe I have. Again, I don't know. I'm not going to tell you whether or not I am, in fact, in Galway because that's the thing going to give you a clue to where I might be otherwise. But anyway, yeah, you probably know just sort of that around that area, or maybe you don't even know that Ireland is a country. You just think, it's England and the US, and I don't really know anywhere else. But that's okay too. Anyway, again, I'm going on a side tangent. But before, when I would just eat a load of sweets every single day. I remember the month of November in my 6th year of secondary school. I've saved up a load of sweets because I was on acne treatment, and so I couldn't really eat that much chocolate. So I decided to stay off it for a whole month. So anyway, I was getting more desperate each day, just desperately needing that dopamine input, and I saw the chocolate all stacking up, and I was just counting down the days until the 1st of December, when it would be Christmassy and everything would be great and life would be great, and I could eat all the chocolate I wanted. And on the day, I on the day of the 1st of December, I got like 8 or 9 chocolate bars eaten already, just on that day alone, and my current self would be disgusted. I would probably get physically sick because I can feel myself doing that. But back then, I was in such a habit of eating it that sugar wasn't as dreadfully negative to my balance of psychological self mastery. So I didn't feel as bad about myself because I had already made it a habit. Whereas now, because I don't eat it that much, I have higher standards for myself, and therefore, I end up I end up having this predisposition towards abstinence of these sugary diet enhancements, and I just I don't really allow myself to do it on any level at all. On a conscious level, I don't mind it too much, but then on like a guilt emotional level, it's way worse. Every time I eat anything, I can see myself becoming a slightly fatter person, just losing the race against the ghost that is my potential. That annoys me. Well, it doesn't annoy me, but it bothers me, which is why I cannot stick with myself eating anything that's bad or just doing anything that's bad. Even a couple of minutes ago, I went onto YouTube and Sorry, gone off track here. Someone's outside. I've gotten accustomed to not feeding my mind with much garbage, and therefore I went on YouTube. I ended up looking at a short or two, and already I feel like my mind is just kind of, it feels worse. I feel like I've lost so much livelihood because I've put my brain through that crap. And it's also interesting when you consider I took a 3 day. It wasn't a fast, but it was an internet fast. I didn't go on any device. I didn't look at anything, and the person is deciding to stand out there now, just listening into my room. Okay, they're finally gone. I'm able to talk again. So sorry I'm wasting so much of your time. Gosh, I should really put timestamps in these videos or just edit them out, but then again I'm not really bothered to because they're just iPhone videos. Anyway, what I was saying was something like, yeah, I felt my mind being filled up with garbage, and I just don't really have much of a tolerance for bad food anymore, because when I was in Galway I was getting such good dinners and it was actual good food that was healthy for me. I don't think I've ever tasted that before on such a scale, where I was actually getting filled up by the dinners I was having. People actually wanted to feed me a lot of food, which was good for me. And so my mind was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing and healthy. It tastes both nice and it's good for me. It's good for my future self. Why would I ever want to go back to crap food? Like, if you have good food that's actually healthy, it's so much better. Just so much better. Also, the physical tolerance as well kind of decreases to sugar as you go away from it, because I used to have a good bit of acne now, and I was flared up a lot of the time, possibly due to sugar. But now, when I even take a bit of sugar, I can feel a really painful spot on my face or maybe on my hand for about 2 days. And I have a little spot here. I'll try to show you. Sorry, this is. Can't even see which bloody finger it's on. It's on this one. Yeah, this is it. That's the spot. Now, that little tiny spot that you see there was so horrifically, well, it wasn't horrifically painful, but it was like pretty painful, and I just couldn't really have a peace of mind with it because it was just bothering me with constant casual feedback loop of things I didn't want. So yeah, your tolerance for unhealthy stuff goes down when you remain healthy. That's mainly the purpose of this video, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing if you have the means to do so. If you don't, for example, if there's not much food in the house, you've got to eat a lot of crap, you're just gonna have to feel bad for a while about it. But again, that's a good thing because it means you're not gonna do it in a long-term way, which is the only real bad thing. Because if you do this once, it's not that bad, because if you do anything once, it's not gonna make much of an impact on your life. Like, if you make 100 cold calls in one day once, okay, sure, might increase your proficiency in articulation and socialization with respected individuals in your chosen industry by about 1%. But then there's also the case of, well, that's not going to last for long, because you're going to get tired of that 1% increase and you're going to want to do it again. You're going to want to compound those results, and if you do it for like 3 months, you're going to be about probably 8 or 9 times better than you were before. 800 or 900% increase. That's where the real results come, when you've been doing it for a long time. And the same goes when you're eating nothing but garbage. If those results are, or if your inputs are bad for a long time, then you're going to get bad long-term inputs. But if they're good for a long time, you're going to get good long-term inputs. Simple as that. It took me 3 months to get as good as I am now with articulation because I've been putting myself through, and I don't even like talking about it because it was just so awful, and it still is just so awful. But I put myself through complete another fire just to get as good as I am now at talking, and I'm not even saying I'm that good at talking. I'm just saying as good as I am now. That's the thing. If you consider this is my current level, I would not be at this current level unless I went through that particular type of experience for that particular amount of time. Now I'm going to end this video. I don't have much else to say. Just know that long-term efforts will mean that if you do something different, your brain is going to detect that difference. And this goes the other way as well. In fact, tomorrow I might make a video on the converse of this. What if you've been doing bad stuff for a while and then you do a good thing once? It's probably going to be a more painful than doing a bunch of good stuff and then a bad thing once, isn't it? But anyway, I'll get into that tomorrow if I remember. Yeah, have a good day.